Just three radio hosts on air, dumb debates.
How you doing? Something tells me he probably deleted a couple of things that I actually use.
Well, he asked you, do you use Xbox?
No, I
Why
don't use
is it the
Xbox.
Xbox on your computer?
I don't know.
It's
a Microsoft product, so it's automatically
Yeah, it's an
installed on
Xbox app, and then
Yeah.
you can click onto it. You can see
Are
all
you
your
getting
friends.
defensive about the Xbox
I'm not getting
app?
defensive. I'm explaining it to you because you're old as hell. You don't get it.
I was just asking a fun question that I figured the audience would engage with. I wasn't being serious. Obviously, Xbox is on a
there. Either way,
Microsoft computer.
we're murdering as much OneDrive as we possibly can.
I still don't understand this OneDrive situation. Why you've been saving stuff to it if you hate it so much?
It automatically does it.
It
It
did it.
automatically backs up.
It started doing it automatically.
Yeah, but why don't you just do it to the place you normally save it to? So where do you usually save it
Well,
to?
see, but that was the problem was once the OneDrive took over, once Skynet took over, it changed all the destinations and I couldn't find my stuff.
Yeah, that's the really annoying thing about OneDrive. It backs everything up on your computer to the OneDrive, and then it just changes the pathing
Yeah.
of things. It, for some reason, thinks that you want all of your information on the cloud.
Yeah, and I don't.
Yeah, that's why I just save my stuff to folders on my desktop.
No,
Well, that's
even
what
if
I
you-
did too.
Even if you save it to a folder on your desktop, it just does it automatically.
Yeah.
Mm.
It just does.
That's
that.
why Skynet's taking over. You got to get rid of the Skynet.
Mm.
Get rid of the Skynet. OneDrive, bad, 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 bad. But Dumb Debates, good, 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 good. And this is your
Good, good,
chance
good.
Good.
engage with the
Good.
Grum, and you can send us your Dumb Debates. Use the hashtag Dumb Debates. We're getting a little thin here, people. We need more Dumb
John,
Debates.
I'm worried that Dumb Debates is going the way.
Of the draft.
No.
I don't think people
of
care
the Oklahoma
anymore.
drill.
Oh, I love dumb debates. It's
People
my
don't. We used to
favorite
get Dumb
thing.
Debates all the time. We don't get them very often anymore.
So now do we have to come up with a new gimmick
I know.
to
See,
fill this spot?
the Happer Show figured it out. I have an opinion. It's a great new way to do things, but we can't take their bit. That's their bit.
We have I don't care. We could just make I don't care.
I don't always have things I don't care about.
Well, yeah, and that's not meant to fill the slot
Yeah,
like
I
Dumb
know.
Debates did.
I
Dumb
know.
Debates it's like this thing. It's a tent pole that
Yeah.
owns our Wednesdays.
Yeah.
All right, here we go from Timmy.
Timmy!
My boy Will says that water has no taste. I say it does. Does water have taste?
Water, the water that sucks does have taste because it's got stuff in it.
Also,
Yep.
yeah, water in different cities definitely tastes different.
Oh, yeah.
I don't want my water to
It
have a
used to.
taste.
Now, I don't think it's not this way in Omaha anymore, but I remember growing up as a kid because we had great water in Fremont. And
Tastes like water.
we would come like to my aunt and uncle's house here in Omaha.
Okay.
And the water would taste weird.
Really?
Now, it's not that way anymore.
Because Omaha used to have hard water. Michael Severe talked about it all the time.
Well, everyone has hard water.
Everyone has hard water.
The
unless you have
first-
soft water because you get Colgate or whatever his thing was.
It's
For that
Col-
endorsement?
Culligan.
Colligan.
Not
Hey,
Colgate.
Colligan.
Yeah,
man. Nick, search Colligan. Culligan.
We have Culligan.
Hey, Colligan man.
We have Culligan.
Mm.
And they just brought us a bunch of salt. Put it in the
Nice.
thing because it's the salt. They put the salt in the
Oh,
little
got
thing in
nailed.
there.
Sad.
The first time I had purified water, I threw up.
What?
Yeah, like,
What?
hold on. Let me cook. In second grade,
Please do.
I went to go visit my cousin's grandparents
Okay.
in their house in Muscatine.
Wait, isn't your cousin's grandparents?
No, it's
your
on her
grand-
mom's side. We share grandparents on our dad's side. We went to Muscatine, right?
Muscatine, Iowa.
Yes.
Yes.
And they lived in the middle of nowhere. I don't know where they sourced their water
I thought
from.
they were living in Muscatine.
Hey, Colligan man.
Muscatine area.
Okay.
But they had like one of the filtration systems
Mhm,
on their
mhm, mhm.
tap water, like at the kitchen sink. So I
Yeah.
got some and I tasted it. And I'm like that little girl from The Sixth Sense. This water tastes funny. And I must have worked myself into a shoot because it just tasted weird. And I
you
threw up. And I
I
said,
don't think I've ever heard anyone throw up because of water
'Cause of
before,
water.
unless they were like drowning.
Waterboarded, yeah.
like,
You're
I'm
waterboarded.
definitely, I'm used to it now. I like purified, I prefer purified water. But at the time, I just had never tasted
Nick, purified water. Ah!
I just never tasted anything like that before. And it was just, it caught me off guard. And then I'm like, this
Man.
water tastes different. And they're like, no, it doesn't. You're crazy.
The,
Tried to gaslight an 8-year-old. Can you believe
now,
that?
of course,
I can. You-
as I-
everyone gaslights 8-year-olds.
as I drink from this bottled water that we got from, Good and Gather's. That's Target brand, right? I think it's Target. Anyway,
Yes.
the the concept 30 years ago or 25 years ago of bottled water, it drove me insane. It's like, why are people paying for this? It's in your pipes. You just turn on the faucet.
You pay for
such a John Bishop
You
complaint.
pay for that water anyway.
That's what I'm saying. So exactly, you're already paying for that water. So just drink the water that's in your house. Why do you need the bottled water?
And now you're a bottled water boy.
It drives me. It's still kind of.
We don't buy bottled water.
I
It still
actually
kinda
hate
bugs
sink
me.
water.
We have a filter, so our water is good.
Don't
Yeah,
throw
our-
up.
We have the
I
Culligan.
don't. I
we
love
have
it.
the Culligan.
Hey,
man.
Culligan man.
Our water tastes good. The water out of our fridge.
Yeah.
It's wonderful.
Fridge water's pretty good. Ooh, water tier list. We have a Brita water pitcher, so we fill it up in the sink and then.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah, it's good.
Brita water is good.
But yes, water can have taste. It's usually the bad water.
I don't want that kind of water.
The people that insist that I can tell the difference between Dasani and Aquafina.
I do feel like
I-
Dasani has a flavor.
Yeah, no, you know what Dasani is because it tastes bad.
Yeah, I don't like Dasani, but I think it has a flavor.
I
And like some waters,
it's
like
all water to me.
core water, some of them have like weird pH things going on where there's
Mhm.
like a slight. You can taste a slight thing there. Even the water now out of our water cooler, there's a little thing there.
You think so?
Mhm.
I don't think so.
I believe our water cooler is a Culligan. I believe.
Hey, Culligan
I
man.
believe it is.
Aaron writes, is college baseball the best way to crown a champion in college sport? Well, he wrote in the college sports.
In the college sports.
And his
I-
argument is, with the,
With the format.
with the format, because you get to lose and then try to win your way back through.
I think the college baseball format, the playoff format, is one of the best in all of sports.
Absolutely. Who doesn't love a tournament?
Well, I mean, that's not the question. It's the format of the tournament.
The format of
yeah.
the tournament is, I think it's great.
Would you do the change that some people have proposed of 32 own little regionals?
No.
You don't like that? Where
No.
it's a best of three and then a
No.
best of three and
Because
then the College World Series?
the idea of you're going and it's three other teams
Mhm.
and you're playing in this regional and you get to play each other. There's strategy involved, like with what Oklahoma's doing. They're pitching the lesser of the two Twins against Nebraska because they're holding back their better pitcher for what they presume to be North Carolina. We all saw how well that worked for Texas A&M a couple weeks ago
Ass
in
and
softball.
more ass.
In softball, that backfired on them spectacularly. No, I like that format
And
because it's very baseball. You have a chance to see two different other teams. There's double elimination, and then you go to the super regionals where it is one team versus one team, but it's a best of three.
And because
just
of
like
that-
you play it in the weekend, and then you get to the College World Series, and it's basically two regionals opposite each other, followed by a super regional to crown the national champion. I think it is a perfect format for this sport. I wouldn't say this wouldn't be a good format for basketball.
Or it wouldn't even work in like football.
Of course not.
No.
You're not doing double elimination there. But for a sport like baseball, where you play,
Multiple
3
games.
or 4 games a weekend against the same team, I think this is the perfect format.
plus, it has a combination of what you want in a tournament, and that is surprises, while also usually rewarding the best teams. The cream usually is going to rise to the crop because you get a loss baked in. Every team that plays gets at least one mulligan.
Mm-hmm.
Hey,
And
mulligan man.
And that's the sport of baseball.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't do a major league style playoff because there's too many teams. But for college baseball, you still get the advantage of having a loss to play with. And you're working through it through a 3 or 4 day weekend. Usually, it's a 3-day weekend. And I think it's perfect.
Mhm.
I love the format.
Plus, the teams that do rise to the top are legitimately at the top. Just when
Yeah.
everything shakes out.
And
the dust
that's
settles.
the thing. Yes, we get a lot of the great teams win, but we get some other teams. Ole Miss was literally the last team in the field a few years ago, made the run, got there.
Mhm.
We saw the Stony Brooks. We saw the Kent States, when Creighton made it way back in the day. There's still that ability for the underdog, but also the chalk can prevail. I think it is a perfect postseason college baseball tournament.
Dave Fight on Blue Sky, John.
Oh, Blue Sky.
Directs us, hashtag dumb debates on Blue Sky, directs us towards this one where there are 16 restaurant or food related characters. Says pick 4 to
So
protect.
like Ronald McDonald?
Yes, and we can go over these. You can help me out with some of these, but it says pick 4 to protect you. The rest will try to kill you.
Okay.
So we're choosing, these are 16 of them. So we have the Kool-Aid Man. We have Ronald McDonald. Who's this guy?
Chef Boyardee.
Chef Boyardee. We have the Tootsie Pop, right? That's the Tootsie Pop Owl. We have the, what is that, Jack
Chester-
in the Box?
Oh, Chester Cheetah.
Chester Cheetah? I thought
Right.
that was Jack in the
The
Box.
one right below the owl?
No, sorry. I was back over to the
yeah,
left.
Jack in the Box. The Jack in the Box.
Wendy, Burger King. Yeah, that's
Chester
Chester.
Cheetah.
KFC, Colonel Sanders. What's this? This is-
Jolly Green Giant.
the pizza.
Little Caesar.
What is this one again? I can't remember. That's like from the 80s. It's like one eye. Are those pancakes behind this little character?
Oh, is that the Noid?
The Noid. Yes, good call.
The Noid.
Those
The-
ugly ass uniforms.
The guy that Michael Severe compared Chance to one time, who holds the food. He called Chance
Big
that.
Boy. Big Boy.
He called him that during a College World
Oh my
Series show.
God.
Yeah, Mr. Peanut, Chuck E. Cheese, or the Pillsbury Doughboy. So here's my initial thought is, I want the Doughboy. I want a Peanut. I want to fight those people. Like, you don't want the Jolly Green Giant seems like a nice fair start, right?
Yeah.
He's green and he's a giant. I don't know what his color has to do with anything.
So what yeah.
4
you
got to
gotta pick
protect
4.
you, and then the other 12 are going to try to kill you.
I've got my picks.
Okay, who are your 4?
Jolly Green Giant.
Yep.
Little Caesars. He's got a spear.
He does have a spear. He has a weapon.
He has a weapon.
Yeah, but he's got the pizzas on the end of it, and that might affect the ability for him to
Stab?
fight with it.
I mean, if you stab somebody with a knife through a pizza, they're still gonna get
right,
into the person.
But what if he ends up throwing it at somebody? Like Brick Tamlin through the trident, and then the pizza catches the air and it sends it off in the other direction.
I just reposted
Just
it,
saying.
by the
Still a
way, on
spear.
Blue Sky if anybody wants to go see it.
I have no idea.
I
What
want the
that is.
Noid because the Noid is effing crazy, and I want him on my side.
Really?
No,
What's
I
going
want to
on?
murder the Noid because those uniforms are ugly.
And
Nice job.
finally, I want the Burger King because he's freaking creepy.
Yeah,
and I don't
the
trust
photo
him.
that they have, it looks like he's drooling out of his mouth.
Yeah, Burger King is. I want him on my side because I don't trust him not to be.
I like the Burger
Okay,
King
well-
picnic. I'll go with the Green Giant. I'm going to go with Ronald McDonald because clowns are freaks. And I don't know, man. There's something about Colonel Sanders that just seems racist enough that, I feel like he'd be a good fighter.
Well,
You
Colonel
want the guy
Sanders-
who'll use slurs?
I mean, maybe to scare some people away.
Colonel Sanders famously.
What slurs would he say to the Doughboy?
I don't want to know, Nick.
I need to look up this story because
Oh, I thought you were talking about needing to look up slurs.
I'm not running in the Boston Marathon.
Neither am I anymore. It's already been over a month, John.
I'm looking up this story because, okay, here it is. The time Colonel Sanders shot another person.
Wait, what?
Yes. I've got to, let's see. So there was apparently a feud. This is back before he really this is before KFC started, but this is when he was kind of starting his chicken business. And let's see. I'm trying to skim this real quick, but basically there was a rival. And his chicken, the way he was cooking his chicken at this gas station was directing traffic because people were hearing about this chicken and how great it was. And so this rival was not happy about a sign that Colonel Sanders had painted, basically directing them to his chicken gas station. And I'm going to read from the story. This guy was named Matt Stewart. He struck back by painting over Colonel Sanders' sign, a move that Sanders quickly countered by repainting the sign. Sanders then visited Mr. Stewart to talk things out. Accounts of the conversation differ, but it ended with one or both of the men making violent threats. The bad blood boiled over on May 7th, 1931, when a local boy ran by the Shell station and told Sanders that Matt Stewart was painting over his sign again. Upon hearing the news, Colonel Sanders and his 2 buddies, who he was talking with at the time, piled into a car, drove down to confront their rival. They caught Stewart in the act of painting over the colonel's sign. Then Sanders shouted, "Well, you yellow dog, I see you done it again." Nobody can agree on who pulled their gun first, but Gibson was killed after being shot multiple times.
So usually when somebody says nobody can agree who drew their gun first, it's probably the most famous person that drew their gun first.
So my point is this. I would definitely have Colonel Sanders on my team because he has a gun and he knows how to use it.
He's not a real colonel, though.
I don't care.
It's stolen valor.
He can still use a gun.
Yeah, so you don't want to mess with the guy with stolen valor, though, man. They're
I would
killers.
also pick the Kool-Aid man because he's big
He can waterboard you.
and he could waterboard you.
Until he runs out of Kool-Aid.
It'd be
You
delicious.
can't just produce that,
I mean,
right?
it'd
That's
be
a
delicious
lot.
waterboarding.
That's
but
not
it'd
just
be
like
waterboarding.
Nick, if you bled right now, you'd produce more blood.
yeah,
and-
but that's Kool-Aid, not blood. Where
and-
he doesn't have any organs that produce Kool-Aid.
I'm going to pick an offbeat candidate. I'm going to pick the Pillsbury Doughboy because, as you know, anytime you poke him in the belly, he laughs, but you've never seen anyone pierce the Pillsbury Doughboy.
That's
because
a
he's
good
made
point.
of dough.
That's a really good point.
So that's who I'm picking. And the rest, take them all out.
Good luck fighting me. Peter writes, if you could put any restaurant in a Memorial Stadium to sell food, what would you had them add in the renovation?
So a whole restaurant?
I don't know. I'm taking this. You can do whatever you want. You could do like a full sit down, but I'm not going to get a chance to do that. But because it's a sit down, that's probably for the rich folks. So I'm thinking of food that is, that you can order and walk back to your seat.
I mean, there's a lot of stadiums now where they have
Actual,
like at Reds games, you can get Skyline chili.
sure.
At Falcons games, you can get Chick-fil-A, except when they play on Sunday, which is pretty much every
All
night.
the time.
Coors Field has Smash Burger and literal bars.
I had
within.
Smash Burger when I went there a few years ago. I love. Smash
You know what
Burger.
I would do, and this is more of a competitive advantage. I would have Long John Silver's in Memorial Stadium because the other team would get nauseous by the smell.
Especially when they're standing on the black turf.
When they're standing on the black turf, they're going to get nauseous by the smell. Because Nebraska will get used to it. It might take a little time, but they'll get used to it, having the aura of Long John Silver's in their stadium. But the other team who only comes in once a year, they're going to get sickened by it. Nebraska wins the game.
The fish effect.
Trying to think of what.
And the chicken planks were good until they made me sick that one time.
I'm replacing Val's with Lighthouse Pizza.
Oh, Nick, that's a good idea.
Thank you.
Trying to think of places that I really like. I think the thing that I keep coming back to is your favorite burger joint in all of the land.
Honest
I'm
Abe's?
not talking. No,
Oh.
I'm not talking about In-N-Out, John.
Oh, you mean Shake Shack actually would be the perfect
Oh.
burger to sell in a stadium
Oh.
because it's too small a food, overpriced.
Wrong. I love Shake Shack. I love their fried chicken sandwiches, and I love their burgers, and I love their
They-
fries.
They do taste good,
and they have
but they're-
shakes.
but they might as well call them sliders.
Oh,
Mm.
what if they did put an In-N-Out or Whataburger in Memorial Stadium, but it's because it's the only one around, so if you want In-N-Out or
That'd be pretty funny.
Whataburger, you have to go
Well,
there.
to
it
go
was
to the
like at the
game.
Union how they had Steak and Shake, and
Yeah.
you love Steak and Shake, and you never went
I've
there.
never been there.
Jordan says illness doesn't cause teams to lose to Nebraska. See Minnesota 2020. People forget they had half their roster, Nick, and they beat Nebraska's ass
I
that
mean,
day.
That's a tough look for Nebraska.
Yeah.
Yes, it was a
It
tough
was
look.
a very tough look for Nebraska.
The Big Red Overreaction
It's a
still
great
exists
point.
on the internet somewhere. Katie says, my fantasy football league had a weekly punishment for the lowest scoring team. I had to eat Long John Silver's 2 years ago, and it was the smelliest, greasiest nonsense I've ever had.
The
Yes.
good news is Long John Silver at least has chicken, so you don't have to get fish.
You know,
Yeah,
but they
but
fry
I-
the same stuff.
But I got sick there, and I've not eaten there since.
You know, Nick owes us food. He's lost to us in
I'm
some
not going
football
to Long John
What if
Silver,
we
though.
just said, Nick, you have to go buy your own food, but it's Long John Silver's, and do a vlog about it, and then we're even Steven. That could be a good bit
You might be able to offset it with the purified water that made you puke.
of Lake
Oh,
Minnetonka.
I have to go back to Muscatine.
Muscatine.
Mm.
Trying to think what would be. See, not that I have anything against the fancy stadium food. I mean, it's cool that there's more things than just hot dogs and popcorn and candy. But sometimes it gets a little too impractical.
Okay.
Because you're eating these like these Mongo nachos or things that take utensils or things that you really need a table, a knife, and a fork to devour.
Mm-hmm.
That's fair.
I think you need food that can that's the reason why hot dogs are such a popular food at ballparks, is because it's something you can just eat with your hands.
Mm-hmm.
You don't need utensils.
We need hand foods.
Like put a good sandwich shop in there. Little Jimmy John.
John just texted in, what about Jersey Mike's? He
Jersey
says
Mike's.
Josh would want Jersey Mike's in the new
Yeah,
stadium.
good point.
I would
Jersey
love.
Mike's is good.
I love a good sandwich.
Yeah, me too.
I'm a sandwich fiend.
I don't know if I'd want a sub, though, at a football game.
Why not?
I don't know. It just
What's wrong
doesn't,
with a sub?
just doesn't feel like football food to me.
What feels like football food?
Dogs, burgers, chicken sandwiches, French fries. But
Chicken sandwiches doesn't sound like football
to
food.
me, it does, John.
Mike in the chat says Waffle House would hit.
Yeah, okay. How is that working?
What do you mean?
That would be awesome.
I would love
How does that
Waffle
work?
House.
Everyone's sitting on them wood ass plank seats in South Stadium trying to hold their waffle in their lap while they're cutting.
He says
Pouring the
Albalados or
syrup on.
De Leon's. What about that? One of those Lincoln or Nebraska burritos that
I-
everyone loves getting at
Oh,
2 a.m.
Those are good.
They're really
They're
good.
very tasty.
I like the Iowa
That's
burrito.
actually a good idea.
It's a very good idea.
I like that idea.
Except those burritos are very good, but they suffer from the problem that most burritos do, where when you get to the end, it starts to come apart in your hand. Because like that's just how burritos are structured.
If you know how to eat them right, though, you can successfully navigate the burrito without it all spilling out. Did I ever tell you a story? Speaking of, we had Ed Service on earlier on the bus trip. On one of our Creighton baseball bus trips many years ago, the SID for the team, the pre-Glenn.
Rob Sims?
No, it wasn't Rob. No, it wasn't Rob Sims. We stopped at either Qdoba or Chipotle. It was one of those two. We got burritos.
Okay.
I'm sitting and I'm looking across the aisle. Poor kid. He's got the rice and the meat and the beans. It's just spilling out all of us. And I'm like, what are you having problems over there? And then I realized what he was doing. He was eating the burrito from the side. Basically like a corn cob.
How does that guy function? How did he do
We
regular,
were like,
normal activities?
You don't realize the reason why the stuff is all falling out is because you're eating the burrito from the side.
Unreal.
If you do it the right way, there's an opportunity to make like a burrito bowl and use the shell or the tortilla as the bowl itself.
Well, that's why when I order from one of those types of places, I do a burrito bowl with the tortilla on the side.
You get more anyway. when you do
Exactly. It feels like 2 meals.
I'll never forget.
Wow. That's wild.
that. It's insane.
Dave says typical Creighton behavior. Wow, Whopper writes,
Okay.
it's 2025. We are past due for stadium pasta.
Oh,
Could I get some spaghetti and meatballs, please?
I'd like some mac and cheese.
See, I mean, I was
please.
trying to eat. I mean, that's a bad food to eat at a football game. It'd be impossible. But I was
Yes.
thinking of like wings. Like, I love wings, and I love wings with football. But God, that'd just be such a mess. Trying to do that with my ranch. What? How am I holding all these? I'm looking like a monster over there.
Yeah.
If you do it right, you can one hand a wing.
Yeah, but you can't. What about the other? I mean, I guess you're holding the other wings in there, and then your ranch cups in there. It's just a
Oh,
a
you
whole-
But
put
it's very messy.
Wings in
too.
your lap, ranch cup in one hand,
What if
wing
you're
in the other.
what if you're standing though?
Don't stand while you're eating wings.
You're at a football game.
But then
Nick.
you'll get shamed by other people saying, hey, no one ever stands at these games.
The song says "Stand up and shout, Dana, Dana."
Yeah, but then you never looked at the lyrics. Written out, there's a little asterisk that
Unless
said,
you're eating
unless you're
wings.
eating wings with
I
ranch.
guess I did forget about that. Jordan says spaghetti and meatballs and a Val's pizza cone. There used to be this place down by the Creighton campus. Gosh, what was it called? But they did a bit called the pizza cone. It was awesome. And then they moved locations and they got rid of it. The session room. And now I don't think they're even around anymore.
Why do you need pizza in a cone?
It was just Nick. It was the bread and they just twisted it into a cone.
I understand
Because
that,
it was fun.
but it doesn't make it more portable.
It made it delicious.
Like all the
It
grease
was
kind of
just a-
pools at
it
the
was
bottom.
Your
too.
obsession with grease.
It was just a
I don't
gimmick.
like grease.
Your obsession with there was no grease. No grease, Nick.
Not a good pizza then.
It was great.
Hmm.
And then they got rid of it.
That's true. I mean, you do have to have an element of grease if the pizza's going to be good.
Yeah.
True.
This is how pizza exists.
Not too much grease, but you got to have some.
Just a teensy weensy bit of grease, Nick.
It's almost impossible to make pizza without grease.
That's what they say.
Mhm.
That's
Unless you're one of
those.
those monsters who puts just veggies on their pizza or just doesn't put anything on their pizza. Then
Hey, Connor Happer. He just posted, speaking of people who don't put anything on their pizza. And then he also added, the session room is sadly dead.
Hmm.
God, seriously, that pizza cone.
I got to push back on John quick, talking about no meat on pizza or like just vegetables on pizza.
that's monster behavior.
We went to the.
It's called a breadstick.
my fiance and I
Yeah.
met with my cousin and her boyfriend at this.
So with the other grandparents?
Nope, different cousin. When we were in Denver, and they took us to this place called The Hangar, and we got a margarita pizza. That was one of the best pizzas I've ever had.
No.
I hope you enjoyed your breadstick.
Handshake meme with John here on this one.
It's really good. It was some of the best crust I've had.
Imagine how much better it would have been if you put a little sausage on it.
Way better, Nick.
It didn't need it.
Or pepperoni or bacon.
It didn't need it. It was good. It was very
Hell, I'd even take ground beef or ham.
Happer would rather have a buffalo chicken pizza than that monstrosity.
Oh, Woody Happer, would you?
Mm-hmm.
There's Dumb Debates.